Hi everyone. So today we're going to make projects with the other recycled materials that I hadn't used yet, or most of them. Example, Keurig containers, yogurt, the empty containers, milk cartons, egg boxes. Um, that's about it. So first thing we're going to start with is the Keurig containers for the coffee Keurigs. So what I did is I made different samples of projects. We're going to start with this snake. So what I did to start is I took, I did it with a little iron like this. So this gets really hot. So to make the hole, it's easier. But you could easily do it, and some of them I made them with pieces of wood like this, either a toothpick or brochette, a skewer. So you can just make the hole at the bottom. And then what I did is I took my yarn and put it through. So at first I made as long as I wanted it, and I put my yarn through the whole thing. And then after that, at the end here, so it wouldn't go through again, I just put a wooden bead. You could just put like even a button or anything to stop it from going back in. After that, I glued these every two together. To glue them, I did it with the glue gun, but you could easily do it with just Scotch tape or masking tape, any type of tape, or you could even do it with white glue, but you'd have to leave it for a while to make sure it's really dry. But it would work. So I glued them all together, and I left some loose on the yarn inside so that the snake would be able to move around. So you'd be able to have it swirling around. So to color these, I just took a Sharpie and added a little bit of color to them. I tried acrylic paint didn't really work. It peels off too easily. So I think Sharpies are the best ones. You could use Crayolas if you want, but it might come off in your hands like if you play with it a lot. But if it's just for decoration, you could easily use Crayola sharp markers. So that would be fine. But I did use Sharpies because I found it was more permanent. So that's one of the projects that you can do with Keurig, empty Keurig containers. Also, I took a set of lights, and I'm going to turn the lights off so you can see a little bit better. So what I did to do this, I used a pink set of lights because that's all I had around, and I didn't want to go and get all my boxes out of my Christmas decorations because I had some white ones, but they were way at the bottom of the piles. So I did it with the pink one, so it does a good ambiance, but it's nice also with the white ones, so you can do either or. So now to do this, I'm going to turn the lights back on. There we go. What I did is, again, I did my hole at the bottom. You can do it with either a skewer or a toothpick or scissors or anything, or a nail even. But after that, I also used my X-Acto to open it wider on each side. You can do it with scissors too. And the reason I did that is to be able to put the light through it, because it bends because of that opening, and then it stays in nice. So that's how I did it for the lights. So that's another idea for that. So the other thing I did is this heart. So I used metal wire, which is similar to a hanger. You could use like a hanger, a clothes hanger, and shape it to the shape of a heart. And then before hooking it together at the end, what I did is I just put my Keurig containers, and I put them like back to back. And these ones, I didn't glue them together. because especially with the heart shape, it would have been hard because you need to have the flexibility. If you would be just doing a circle for put on for a door or something, you wouldn't necessarily, I think you could glue them together partly, but this one I decided to not do it. So to decorate this, you could add the Sharpies. You could also spray paint it. What I'm probably going to do, I just haven't done it yet, is use this shawl that I've had and I don't use anymore. And I like the color. And probably, I would even maybe trim it down. Like I won't leave it this big. But I want to leave the white containers. I want to be able to see what it's made of. So I might do something like this. Or I could add some red ribbon. Or I could even add little flowers made, like I made flowers with the egg cartons that I'm going to show you later on. I would even be able to add these little flowers, the blue, make a blue and white series of flowers and add them on. Maybe that's what I'll do with it after. But this gives you an idea of what you can do for Keurigs. Okay. I got to move stuff around because I got a lot of stuff to show you. So now yogurt containers. So yogurt containers, what I did is I made a little educational game that you can play with the kids. And also I made a maraca. So what I did to do the instrument is I just took two containers. I put some beads in there just to make the noise. You could easily even put macaroni, rice, anything in there. And then when you shake it, it makes noise. So I just used glue gun again to glue this together. But you could use tape. Just tape it, just regular clear tape, or it doesn't matter. And to decorate it, I just took some paper, different colored paper, and wrapped it around, taped, wrapped around, and taped again to add some color. And then just with a marker, I decorated it a little bit. So it's an easy way to do a craft with the yogurt containers. And it's an instrument at the same time. So this other one, what I did is I made some holes on the bottom, 2 holes, so that I would be able to put my paper clip. I open it up. I put it inside the 2 holes. And I have it approximately what I want. And then on the other side, I just bent inside so that it doesn't come out anymore. So that's how I made those. And what I did is with this game, you can practice colors, numbers, letters. So right now, all I did was 5. So I did numbers from 1 to 5. And on the side, I did the letters from A to E, I think it was, and different colors. So, example, A is pink, but D is purple. So, the game could be, I made some little fishing rods. Oh, wait. Just with a little bit of yarn. And a paper clip. So it can be, okay, find the number 3. And then they can go and get the number 3. Or find the letter B. Or find the color pink. So they can go. And it can get strategic at the same time, because you can tell them that they can bend this different ways if they want. Because it could be easier maybe if they had it smaller. Or maybe easier for them if they have it bigger. So they can try different things. So it becomes a strategy at the same time of the way they're bending it. And for the fishing rods, you can use different things. This is just like a popsicle stick. This is a brochette. Now, if you use these, consider breaking the end off, because I find this is dangerous because this is really pointy. So I usually break that off. But you could use anything. You could even use a pencil and have a little, just with pencils or pens or markers, or so it becomes a game at the same time. So they're learning that they're playing at the same time. So they don't really realize that they're learning. You can even do spelling words. So spell me baby. So they have to take so it can become a learning tool at the same time. So all this recycled material, it becomes, again, like I said, it becomes either like your paintbrush or your pencil. You create with and you draw, it becomes a 3-dimension, but it's you that's doing it with the recycled material. The one this is with the to eat food, baguettes, to eat food, chopsticks. So that can be your fishing rod. Okay. Now we're going to go to the milk cartons. Or if you'd rather, it can be with tissue boxes. So with the milk cartons, what I did is I created a car or a truck. So what I did to make the wheels is I took a brochette or a skewer, so it's longer. I cut it to size, and I took a little wooden bead and I put it close to, and I made holes in the container on each side, which can be done with just, again, with a skewer or a pair of scissors, or often I use my little heater, but it's up to you. So I put a little wooden bead in and I glued it there. So I put a little bit of glue and pushed it on. And then I put my bottle cap on there, but I didn't glue the bottle cap, but I put another wooden bead and I glued a little bit on this side of the wooden bead. So it was okay. It was running, but it was wobbly a little bit. So after that, I tried adding another one and gluing it onto it, and it made it really solid. So that's why you don't see anything on this side, because the wooden bead is in here. But these wheels turn really nice. So this truck would be able to, they'd be able to play with it easily after. So to decorate it, I just put paper, colored paper on it. You can open it up to make seats, and you can add the little men in there if you want your Spider-Man driving the truck or whatever. And you can draw on it to make the windows or whatever you want for your car, for your truck. And it's pretty solid and it works nice. So that's one example. So now you could make it more complex. The caps can be different colors too, depending. So this one, I cut this part at first and then cut another one. And then that could be added to the box here. And this could be the back of the truck. And you could make your wheels. And then this could be like a dump truck. So the truck is emptying its gravel or whatever it's got in there. And it'll be fun to play with. So the wheels, there's another way also that you can do it. Instead of putting the hole through and doing it this way with the beads, there's also, if you have a straw and a skew that fits inside your straw and that turns nice inside, you can do it this way. So if you glue just with the tape, if you tape down your straw, your two straws, and you can cut them to the size. This is like the full size, but you wouldn't need it the full size. And then you put your cap, and even if your cap is glued to your piece of wood, like to your skew, it'll turn nicely for your wheels, because your straw, it's turning inside the straw. So this is a challenge that you can try with what you have at home. Try to imagine what you could use for wheels, what you could use for the structure for it to turn nicely. So this is a challenge for you, so you can do with stuff interesting. So either with the tissue box or with the milk carton. So that was one of the things I had said to save up that I wanted to show you. Okay, so we did the Keurig, we did the yogurt, we did the milk cartons. Okay, so now, last but not least, the egg carton. So when you do crafts with the egg cartons, there's two different boxes of egg cartons, two different types. Some of them are pointier here, and those ones don't have these on this side. So I used some of those for some of our projects, but I only had one. So I don't have one to show you, but you can use both, and you can do different things with both. So you can either take this off just by tearing it. It really usually tears nice. Or if you need to, you could cut really easily. And this can be glued. I used the glue gun just because it was quicker, but this can be glued with just regular white glue because it's paper. It's really easy to glue. It might take longer to dry, but it's really, really fun to use. So, example, in some of my stuff that I did, I used this part. So I always keep everything that I'm cutting because I might need to use it again. So this part here, and then if I'm taking this part, and if I'm cutting all the way around, and not to the bottom, just a little bit, and I open this up, it makes like a flower. So now this flower at the ends, I could make the ends pointy, or I can make them more round for the finishing touch. And then I could add this inside. I could even, when you open it up, if you see in the middle here, there's a little dot. I have one right here. This in the middle of the flower is really cute too. So I'm going to show you a few that I made last night. So I made this one. And this one. And here's two more. So not one of them is the same. And it looks nice. So these can be really easily painted. I'm going to show you how to paint them at the end. But I had painted a few last night so you could see what it would look like. So just a yellow and a little bit of orange in the middle. You could do it in the colors you want. You can do multiple colors. You could do also a wreath, a couronne with this. You could just either with a cardboard that's cut in circle and glue all these flowers all the way around. Be really pretty. So this one, what I did once it was painted is I also added the Mod Podge to have it shiny at the end. So just on half of it. This half here, I added the Mod Podge. So it gives you an example of how much you can finish it really nice. So also by cutting these, and putting two together this way. And again, I glued this with a glue gun, but you could easily glue it with the white glue. Just dip this one in the white glue and glue them together. And you just have to let it dry. So with this, I made this little bird. So the bird after that, I just made some holes and added a feather on top and on the side. The beak is made with felt, but you could do it with paper. I gave him little googly eyes because I have some, but you could easily draw it instead. So I put 2 different size eyes because I found them funny. And then with the pipe cleaners like this, I made his little feet, his little web feet. So again, this one has this on the top. But the other ones that are taller here, the inside here is flat. So with that one, I made a mask. Okay. So these eyes are made with this. The eyebrows, I cut this into and glued it on top. The nose is with the longer one from this egg carton. And the mouth, I just made it smaller and put it inside, and the tongue and the throat, again, all with pieces that I cut out from the egg carton. So I put googly eyes on it, but again, I could have painted. And this could be painted, the whole thing painted. I just left it natural so that you would really see how it was made. So here's a little fox that I made. So again, this is with the longer ones. Okay, the ones with the longer ones, because these ones are shorter, but there's some of the egg cartons that this part is longer. So this is how I made this one. One's underneath, the other one's on top. Again, I glued it with the glue gun, but you could glue it with either tape or white glue, as long as you leave it dry. And then you paint it. Also, I made a little mushroom. So the mushroom, again, the top, I pushed this on top and cut it a little bit shorter and painted it. And for the bottom, what I did is I just cut this part and tore the top part out. And then turn this, and that's what did the mushroom. So that's for my mushroom. So also, again, with the longer ones, that's why I don't have any left, because I made stuff with it. I made little masks. So I just use a popsicle stick, a long stick to have it on the side, and I used some feathers on there. And I made some holes in the middle here so you could see out of it, especially on a child. Like my face is bigger, but on a small child, this looks really cute. And I've also made another one with black feathers with metallic turquoise paint. So that's different ideas that you can do with egg cartons. So I'm just going to push this up here. And I'm going to show you for painting. So 2 things with the paint. One is, again, when you're painting this, it's not going to be as easy to paint as if you'd be painting on a cardboard or a flat surface, because it's rugged a little bit. You're going to have to do a bit, like I said at one time, I had said you have to tickle the sculpture. So if you just paint, it won't necessarily go in. So you have to move your brush around while not pressing too hard. That's why I say you're tickling, because you're not, when you're tickling somebody, you're not pushing hard. If you're tickling with a feather, you're just going lightly, but you're moving around. And that will plug all the little holes to have it painted nicely. So that's one thing that I wanted to say about the paint. Also, the paint. Oh, and it reminds me also of the containers. So I had said also at the beginning that you can save cans from canned goods, and then you could use them. So this one isn't decorated, but I use these like even to put some pencils. I use them to put my paintbrushes in, or my tools. So you can decorate them again with paper all the way around, or with Sharpies, or whatever you have. And it can be fun to do little projects like that. So when I have paint left, this is something I wanted to mention in the last video that I said, and I forgot, so I wanted to mention it at the end of this. If I have paint left, instead of wasting the paint, what I do is you can either take a full sheet of paper and you fold it, and you can do it with a fold, or you can cut this in two and fold it again and use it this way, or you could even cut in two again and fold and use it tiny. And what you do is you put your paint really towards the middle, but only on one side. And you can put different colored paints. It doesn't matter what you... It's whatever you have left. Add some white here. And some yellow. So just this way, and then when you fold it over, with your finger, you can move this paint around the way you want it. It can blend it, or not a lot, or not a lot. And then if you move it up and down like in an angle, if you want it to make like a butterfly. And then when you open it, all these colors mixed. So now you have also another thing, you have the symmetry, which is like it's always the same on one side as the other too. So that's another lesson learned. So with this, you can do it in any color. So example, I made a small one with my metallic paint that I had left last night, like with the metallic turquoise and the black and the metallic red that I had for the mushroom, and it did something, and it was a smaller one too. So now once this dries, another thing you can do that I find that's fun is with a Sharpie or with another marker. What you can do is you can do the contour. And you can add details either, also like on each side. And if you want it to be like a butterfly and you want to keep the symmetry, you try to get the details to be the same on each side. Approximately. And then after that, this can be cut up. I'm just going to cut it there. And it can go to decorate your can, or to decorate your truck or your car. So that's a different idea too, with paint that's left over that you're not going to use. So I think that's it for today. So we have the Keurig yogurt, milk cartons, and egg cartons. This is going to be my last video for a little while because it's starting to be nicer out, and I have some stuff that I want to do outside also while it's nice. But I will probably be making some more depending, but I'm not promising when. So stay tuned for the other ones. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.